The language of the last dynasty of China wasn't originally Chinese, so what was it and what happened to it? If you're not caught up with your Chinese history, you might be surprised to learn that the last Chinese dynasty, the Qing dynasty, lasted up until the early 1900s. You also might not have heard its other name, the Manchu Dynasty. And the reason it's also called that is because the founders of the Manchu Dynasty weren't originally Chinese, they were Manchu. We could call them Chinese because they lived in Manchuria, which is now part of modern-day China, but they were ethnically different from the Han Chinese people to the south who we usually associate China with. And they spoke a completely unrelated language called Manchu. This language had a completely different grammar, vocabulary, and it had a different writing system. It wasn't even written with Chinese characters. And again, this Manchu-led dynasty lasted up until the 1900s. So what happened to their language? Well, one thing to note is that the emperors kind of became less Manchu over time. Just like being emperor, being Manchu was a patriarchal status that you inherited from your father. But other than that paternal line, most of the later emperors had mostly Chinese-speaking ancestors. This is because part of the way the Manchu came to power was through a lot of intermarriage. And they inherited a lot of their bureaucracy from the Chinese-speaking Ming dynasty. So over time, it became less and less practical to use Manchu. So while in the 1700s, there are some emperors that spoke it as a native language, by the 1800s, it really started to die out. And today, there's thought to be only around 100 native speakers left, although thousands of people are learning it through revitalization efforts. It goes to show that language and status aren't always as connected as you'd think.